everyone, it's me, Harriet. I've got a cat wandering around in the background, so if you see a tail moving across the screen, that's him. I've just come back from the sewing weekender. Well, not just, it's Thursday now and it finished at the weekend. So sorry that my blog post hasn't gone up yet, but it's really wiped me out the whole week. This is kind of the first day that I've been up and out of bed, so it's just tricky to concentrate on writing a blog post, so recording a video is easier, but hopefully by the time this goes out on Saturday I will have one of my 2 blog posts done at least. I went as a guest this year because I was a speaker for my website Clothing Care Co. I gave a talk about caring for your clothes, and I'll link my Clothing Care Co. website and blog post about the whole weekend below so that you can read about my experience as a speaker. And it was so lovely to meet people that I've seen last year or met before, and it was really nice to meet new people as well. And I thought I'd show you what I got in the swap, but also show you what my plans are for sewing in September. I haven't done a makes video in I think maybe 2 or 3 months, but that's just because I was so busy working on my book, so I didn't really have time to sew. But hopefully this month, well definitely this month, I will have time to sew, because my plan is, this, by the way, I know that I usually do sort of seasonal sewing plans videos. This is not going to be one of those, so this is not all of my autumn winter sews. These are just my September ones, because at the end of September, so from the 24th of September for 3 weeks, I'm going to be doing a physiotherapy / rehabilitation program as an inpatient at the hospital. So my plan is to sew some really comfy clothes to wear for that, but I will also be showing you some of the fabrics that I got from the swap and all of the patterns that I got from the fabric and pattern swap at the sewing weekender. These ones that I'm going to show you now are not ones that I'm planning to make this month, and the rest of the patterns that I got in the swap are sort of integrated into what I'm going to show you. But the first one is McCall's M7547, which is one that I've wanted for quite a while. So I was really pleased to find this in the swap, because I do have a dungarees pattern, but I find that it doesn't really fit me very well on the legs. It fits fine on the top, but I prefer a slightly slimmer leg fit to the ones that I have. So this one has lots of options, so I was really pleased to find that, and it's not been cut into. So if any of these, by the way, if any of these things were yours that you put in the swap, please let me know below, because I'd really like to know. This one, I think actually all of these are uncut. This one is also uncut, but you can tell it is slightly older. And it was from the Fabric Warehouse, if you're interested. It's Butterick 4483, and it has men's pyjamas, women's pyjamas, and we call them dressing gowns in our family, but you also call them like robes. Yeah, some really good pyjamas, so I might end up using these to make some pyjamas for my stainery. Oh no, I forgot one of my fabrics. You'll know which one I'm talking about though, because I've mentioned it in so many videos. But what I think I might make with this one, if I have the time, is one of my friends from Canada, Beth, sent me a really lovely white Rifle Paper Co. Alice in Wonderland fabric. It's white with a black print on it, and I think that would make a really good set of pyjamas, either just a top or the bottoms, depending on how much I have. So maybe that will appear at the end of this month's makes, but that one I was also really pleased with. This one is quite unusual for me. Again, it's an uncut one. It's Butterick 5030, and it's 6 different wrap dresses. And I don't usually go for wrap dresses, but some of them are so pretty, and it's got so many different variations that I thought I'd pick it up anyway. So even if I make one for Mum rather than myself, if she wants one. But it's just worth having, because I will want a wrap dress at some point in my life, and there are lots of very nice variations on that one. This one I picked up for Mum. It's McCall's 7357. It's not quite my style, but she wears quite a lot of tops like this, because it's got the V-neck but then sort of an overlay thing in. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. But yeah, that was a good one. I did, by the way, I did take loads of fabric to the swap, so I haven't just picked up loads and not given anything in. I did give loads to the swap. I also got the silk cami. This came from Simply Sewing, but it is the Sew Over It silk cami pattern. I don't think it has the instructions in it, but I'm sure it's very intuitive, and I do have the Ogden cami, so I might be able to sort of swipe some of the instructions from that one. But this is also uncut, it's not even been opened, so maybe someone had the PDF version of it. But yeah, I'm really pleased with that one. This was one of the patterns that came in the goodie bag. I'm not going to show you through the goodie bag because I was so excited that most of the things have found their way into my sewing room already. So I'm sure there are lots of videos that will go through the goodie bag. I know the Ginger Thread Girl, Jen, goes through it all and tells you about the sewing weekender, so you can go watch her video. But this one, even though I don't have much of a 70s influence in my dressmaking very often, I do actually quite like this dress. It has sort of panels at the front, so it's definitely not at the top of my to sew list, but I reckon I will give it a go sometime, because I just think it looks quite cool. This one was also in the goodie bag. It's the Crafty Sew and Sew PJ Shorts pattern. I might get to this month if I want some shorts for my hospital visit, but I think I'd prefer long pyjama bottoms, to be honest. But I do really like those as well. And this one I really love. You all know I'm a big fan of a notched collar, and I found this vintage pattern. I did find it, I think it was 65 this was from. I found it. 64 this is from. It is a bust 38, size 18, which would not be that size now. But I think because it is meant to be I think it looks from the pattern it's meant to be quite fitted. My bust isn't too far off of that, so I reckon I would be able to wear this, but otherwise if it is too big I'm just going to frame it because I think the artwork on the front is so nice. And another idea that I had, because I can't remember what it was that we were watching, there was a lady that had it was a dress that had a notched collar like this, and it just looked like a shift dress. So I might do that, just kind of extend it and make it a bit more A-line and try that out. But yeah, I really like that one. And I do have another vintage pattern that is sort of like this, but it's a shawl collar instead of a notched collar. But the other shirt that I have that is like this is the Libby shirt from Sew Over It, but that's got grown on sleeves. So if I wanted to make a long sleeve version of that, I could probably help with I could use the sleeve bit from this one maybe. But those are all the patterns that I have that don't have plans this month, so I'll move on to the ones that have got plans this month. First, these are two more. I'll show you the fabric first, but I'll just show you the fabric. This is an African wax print fabric. I've never sewn with a wax print fabric before, but I really, really love this one. And I was very lucky to be sent this from the lady that runs, actually I think it might be two people that run it, but I was emailing the lady that runs Dovetailed London. I'll link their shop below, Dovetailed London on Etsy, and it's all African wax print fabric, and it's so nice. I really love this colour. It's not a print that I would usually go for, but I really like kind of pushing myself out of my comfort zone. This one probably wouldn't be one that I wear into my rehab, but I could make it anyway just to feel more human, or if it's on days that I don't have physio or something. And it's got a really nice amount of structure. I have 2 yards of it. So ideally it would have been a Sew Over It rosy dress, but I don't think there's going to be enough for that. So my options are, because my next fabric matches really well with this one, so I think it would be really good for this. Butterick 6178, the culottes. I think that would look really nice. I've never made the culottes for myself before. I've made culottes for my mum, but I think it would look really nice as culottes. And because it's got a nice amount of structure, I am going to pre-wash it rather than keep the sort of waxy finish. I think that would look really nice as culottes. Or my other option is this pattern that I got in the swap, and that is Vogue 8648. And I really like this version, and this version. I wouldn't really go for any of the tighter ones, but I think those 3 are really nice. And if I did this version, which is View D, which is just all the same fabric with a sort of floaty-ish skirt, that would fit into this fabric really nicely, and it is sort of the weight that they recommend. So I'd really like to make that one. So I think either one of those, hopefully you'll be seeing that at the end of the month, because I really do love that fabric, and I'm looking forward to pushing myself out of my comfort zone a little bit. Next, this is where we are officially moving into comfort and practical territory. This fabric is so nice. I got this one from the swap, and thank you so much to whoever put this one in. I was really lucky to get it. I wish you could feel it because it is so high quality. It is slightly darker than it's coming out on the... It's more this colour, but it matches really well with the blue in the wax print I just showed you. It's, oh my goodness, it feels so nice. It's a jersey. I do believe it's probably a viscose jersey just because of the way it feels. It's got a really nice amount of drape. And what I'm thinking of making with it, is either the frayed top from the Tilly and the Buttons stretch book, or just my classic Rowan top, because oh my goodness, it is so lovely. I reckon I'm going to get 2 tops out of it, but I'll probably just do 1 this month because I don't like sewing with the same fabric 2 projects in a row. But it is so nice, and it's quite fine, quite lightweight, and just very lovely. By the way, not all of these are going to be made. So a lot of the time it is sort of that I have a few options. I'm not a superhuman speedy sewer, so not all of these are going to be made this month. So if I have a couple of fabric options for one pattern, I'm probably going to choose one or the other. And then I also have this fabric, which you will have seen in my knitting and stitching show haul, which was a few months ago, but I still haven't got around to using it. But I love this fabric so much. It reminds me of Margot Tenenbaum. Obviously, that is my favourite film in the whole world. I have a whole tattoo of her hand. That's how dedicated I am. But this one is also either going to be a Rowan top or a Freya t-shirt. I don't really want to make the Freya dress in this just because I wear jersey tops way more than I wear jersey dresses. But I really love this fabric. It's so nice. Oh, I love it. So that's what I'm going to do with that. I think I have 2 whole meters of this, so I could definitely get more than one version out of that. Next, we're moving on to marigolds. I love marigold trousers, and I find them very, very comfortable, and they're really good for wearing if I'm doing physio. So I have, all 3 versions that I have are in cotton. So I found this is a remnant from my local fabric shop, and I can tell you exactly how big it is. I got it for £5, and it's 1.4 by 1.5 meters, and I've got very short legs, so this will fit in perfectly. It's a really nice big print flower with tiny little bits of pink in the middle, so that will go really nicely with this stripe. I'm not afraid of clashing prints, that is fine with me. And yeah, I just do the marigold trousers, not the marigold jumpsuit. I've made so many pairs of marigolds, but yeah, I think a nice lightweight one would look really nice and also feel very nice. Next is another pattern, hang on, let me readjust. Yeah, I've readjusted now. Next is another pattern that I got in the goodie bag from the sewing weekend, and I was really lucky to get this one because I do really, really like it. It's the Colette Zinnia. Can you see? It's a really nice button-down skirt. I wanted a button-down skirt pattern for ages, and I didn't want to buy one because otherwise I could just adjust a skirt pattern that I have already because it's a relatively simple thing to do. But this has, hang on, let me get the instruction booklet out so I can show you properly. This has some really nice patch pockets on the front. I would do version 1 probably. Can you see that? It's got really lovely patch pockets on the front. It's got a button placket. It's got a waistband that sits at the waist. Oh, it's just so nice all round. I really love the patch pockets, and I want to wear some more skirts because I don't wear skirts that often, but I don't know whether that's because I don't really think they suit me or if I haven't found the right skirt pattern yet or what. So I am very willing to give this one a go. Or I'm also thinking about using the culottes pattern that I just showed. This is, from what I can feel, I think it's a wool linen blend. And I got this in the swap as well. It's going to wash me out, but it's the same colour as the dress that I'm wearing, maybe slightly more brown, sort of rusty colour. There's not a lot of it, but like I said, my legs are super short, so I think this would look really nice as either culottes or the skirt, and it would be really good because for the rehab I'm coming home at the weekend, so I could wear this travelling home because it feels very nice and comfy, or just on a cooler day on the ward. So that one's very nice. Next is a fabric that I got a couple of months ago as well from Sew Me Sunshine, and I just think this fabric is so happy. I don't know if I'm going to get round to sewing this because it is kind of a bit fancy to wear to the hospital, I think. But again, it could go as one of my travelling home outfits or just to wear at the weekend. But I got that this is cotton and steel. I think it was called Chalk Stripe, and it's got really nice multicoloured lines in. And I really like it because I'm trying to wear more plains. So I think on top as a shirt this would look amazing, because I've got a lot of fabrics that would match the colours in this for bottoms. So for this I would either use the Sew Over It Ultimate shirt, although the size that I've cut it out in fits me really well on the shoulders, but it doesn't quite fit across my bust. So I usually, at the moment, just because I can't be bothered to adjust it yet, I just sort of tie it up and don't put buttons on the front, or I could just sort of make the seam allowances slightly smaller. But this fabric, this pattern I got in the goodie bag as well, and it's the Calls 7575, and it's got the, I don't know really how to say this, Palmer Pletch, I don't know, fitting guide, so that you are able to sort of fit it exactly to your measurements. And it is meant to be a semi-fitted shirt, but I don't really like the Rosa shirt from Tilly and the Buttons. I don't think that the in at the sides suits me very well, because I like to tuck things in rather than wear them out. So I'd probably just straighten out the side seams, but I think that would look really nice as this one. I feel like I got 2 meters or 1.5 meters of this, so that will look very nice if I make that this month. Next, we have 3 different fabric options for this. So I'm probably just going to make one, and I think I know which one it is. I think you'll all know which one it is that I will make. But again, I have some kind of weird thing in my head that if I wear something to the hospital it's going to get dirty or something. So I might not sacrifice this, I might not make it yet. But all these are for the Libby shirt by Sew Over It. And it's got a nice notched collar, grown on sleeves with a little sleeve cuff. And the first one, obviously, of course, I've mentioned it in every plans video since my birthday, because that's when I got this. It's the Liberty Rumble and Raw fabric in the best colourway ever. I have a metre of this, so I also got some cotton lawn in one of the dinosaur colours to go with it, just for like the sleeve cuffs or the facing below where it turns out or whatever, just for bits that might need it. And I really love it, and I really want to wear it, but I don't really want to wear it in the hospital just in case it gets dirty or something. But I love it so much, and I do really want to make this. It will be made this month or next month, I can promise you that. And then I have 2 more fabrics which are going along with my being plain plan. This is one of the ones that I got when I went out shopping with Rosa. Again, this is quite similar. It's slightly more purpley plum colour. You can see it best when it's next to this colour, really. I did get quite a lot of this. I think I got 2 meters, so I might not use it as a shirt. I might save it for a dress, but it's a very nice autumnal colour. And it's so soft. It's a viscose, so this might be a Libby shirt. I might not make it, and I might save it as for a dress, so I don't really know. This one I got in the swap, and I think it's my favourite fabric that I got in the swap. It's so drapey, and it's a really nice, I don't even know what colour it is. It's like a grey but with blue and purple. I don't really know what you'd call it, but it's coming up pretty much what it is on the screen. And it's so soft and it's so drapey, and I think it would just be so comfortable to wear in the hospital, and it would go really nicely with the trouser plan that I've got, the marigold trousers. These two would go really nicely together, and I just really love it. Very comfortable. And then finally, I really want to make some jogging bottoms. I have one fabric here, the other fabric hasn't arrived yet, so I'll insert a picture of it here once I have it. And this first one, hang on, let me show you the pattern first. I have a little divider so that I can show you properly. This would be for the Stella joggers, so the jogging bottoms which have the drawstring and the pockets and the ankle cuffs. So I think that would be really comfortable on cooler days, or maybe even at night time, or just on there's no rules to what to wear when you're in the hospital. You can wear whatever you want. So this first one is a jersey with not much stretch at all, but it's from Girl Charlie. I got this at the Knitting and Stitching show as well. And it's got little white dots with sort of stitching running through it, and they're 3D, these little dots, they're embroidered on. And I really like this fabric. It's very nice colour for jogging bottoms, I think, because you don't really want a very light colour, and it's also really nice weight. It's not a sweatshirt fabric, but it is very nice, and I do really like it. I think it'd be very comfortable to wear. And the second fabric, which I'll insert here, is from Sarah's shop, Like So Amazing. She very kindly sent me this fabric after I bought the cuffs, which will now show up on screen. I think they're just called cuffs. They're Cuff Me College, I think is the specific name. I think they look amazing, and they'd be around the ankles, but there's I think 1.5 meters on there, so I can just save the rest for when I have a matching fabric. But Sarah sent me the peach floral jersey, which apparently is quite lightweight, so it would make a really good pair of lightweight Stella joggers, and I just think that that would be really nice as well. So I'm gonna aim to make both of those pairs of jogging bottoms, because I feel like bottoms need to be prioritised over the tops. So I'm going to go for the marigold trousers and the Stella joggers first. I might intersperse that with a little jersey top or something in the meantime. Not in the meantime, but in between those, just so I don't get bored of making sort of similar things. But yeah, those are my plans, and I'll definitely show you what I've made in September at the end of the month. I do also do my So Hayley Jane make, but that hasn't arrived yet, so I don't know what I'd be making with that, but I'm going to try and keep it in with the theme of comfort and practicality. Obviously, also, none of these really go together, so I will also add in some probably ready-to-wear clothes that I have in my wardrobe already, just to make it sort of go together a bit more. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you to anyone who came to the Sewing Weekender and said that they enjoyed my talk or bought my book. I really appreciate it. And I will link everything that I mentioned that I said I'd link down below. So that'll be my blog, which I've now changed the URL of. I've changed most things to The Little Dressmaker now. And then also Clothing Care Co stuff. I'll link my book up. I'll link the blog post about the talk and everything like that. I'm sorry that they haven't gone up yet. And I know that I seem like I have a lot of energy today. I really don't. I'm going to have a nap after this, but the weekend really wiped me out. So I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I will see you, fingers crossed, next week if I'm feeling up to it. Bye!